Daily Tech News with Alan Smithson.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Tech News. I'm your host, Alan Smithson. Today is Wednesday, May 15th, and there's lots going on today. Lots of cool stuff. Google I/O was yesterday. OpenAI was the day before. We've got some more stuff, more drama happening at OpenAI, and we'll start with the drama here because I think it's actually important to point out that things are not always rosy in the age of AI. Somebody put this the drama only streaming on X, OpenAI of Thrones, and we're starting to see this kind of thing where people got voted out as CEO, getting voted back in. Then the chief scientist was there, and then he left, and he's back, and then he's left. So we're starting to see this crazy drama happen with OpenAI, and I hope this is not indicative of the future of this entire technology stack because it's getting crazy. So over to Sam Altman's post from today. Ilya and OpenAI are going to part ways. This is very sad to me. Ilya is easily one of the greatest minds of our generation, a guiding light of our field, and a dear friend. His brilliance and vision are well known. His warmth and compassion are less well known, but no less important. Blah, 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 blah. Over to Jacob is going to be our new chief scientist. Jacob is easily one of the greatest minds of our generation. It almost feels like ChatGPT wrote this because Sam Altman writes in all lowercase, and somebody wrote, I'd bet a beer that ChatGPT wrote this. There's proper capitalization. I'm sus. Anyway, long story short, there is the OpenAI Game of Thrones going on over there, and it's crazy. Over to Microsoft, which is a OpenAI partner, and Microsoft's CTO Kevin Scott is on a podcast with Reid Hoffman, and it's a great podcast. I just listened to it, and here's just a quick snippet of it.
Uncovered my secret desire for helping to get Copilot built. Like, I'm just looking for the day where the thing can do my job and I can go retire. Like, we're getting close. It's awesome.
All right. So if the CTO of Microsoft is building an entire tech stack to replace himself, you're next. Anyway, we'll leave that to another discussion, but I'll put the links in the description of the YouTube video so that you have all access to everything every day. Over to TikTok. 8 TikTok creators are suing the US government over the potential ban of TikTok. The lawsuit argues new laws threatens free expression. I think this is really something interesting because the US government I don't think they even took into account the fact that there's so many millions of creators on TikTok making a living from TikTok, and having their voices heard is an important part of the American experience. And the whole idea of free speech is to have free speech. And TikTok being banned is not the best example of that. Anyway, we'll see where this lawsuit goes. Over to, this is really neat. Cinemersive Labs has created a VR experience on the Meta Quest. And the idea here is that you can take a photograph, they add some depth mapping to it, and here, I'll just let it play. This is in VR with a regular photograph that has had the depth map kind of mapped onto it. And you can see that it has parallax, it's got depth to it. It's like taking a regular photograph and making it feel like you're right there. How amazing is this? I can't wait to give this a try, actually, because they're adding a depth map to an existing photograph, and it's obviously a little bit fake. So I know LeiaPix does this as well. You can go to LeiaPix and create depth maps for individual photographs. So the technology exists for this, but I still think it's really neat to be able to go in VR, look at your regular photographs in a way that looks fully spatial in 3D. And what a great experience. I think this is going to be wonderful for people. Okay, over to public transportation gets a bad rap. Everybody's focused on autonomous vehicles and individualism, but the idea of having public transit and having it beautiful is really interesting. These are subways in China, and they've actually used 3D printing to build these beautiful subway entrances. And if you look at it, there's the subway from above. It's beautiful. What's to say that a subway needs to look like shit? To be honest, I mean, why does it need to look like crap? Toronto, we've got subways. They all look the same. They're all kind of meh. They're, not dirty, but they're just meh. In New York, they look like crap. Why can't we make these public spaces look beautiful? Put some art in there. Look at this. How is that for a subway entrance? Why don't we have this stuff instead of just some boring tiles? I really think this is great. This is a subway entrance. Really, really cool design. I think we need to really push a little bit harder and further on public transportation. Over to more public transportation, the benefits of leading pedestrian intervals. Now, what this means is when you're walking across the street, the walk sign, the little man walking, gives you as a pedestrian 3 to 10 seconds advance before the cars start going at all. And it's actually been able to, it says here, where is it? In fact, the New York City Department of Transport put together a study of just left-hand turning vehicles crashes and found that pedestrians and bicyclists are killed or severely injured by a left-turning vehicle over 3 times the rate, 19% of right-turning vehicle crashes. The vast majority are while they had a walk signal. So by giving pedestrians the advanced walk, it actually is reducing this. So it gives pedestrians a 3 to 10 seconds of walk. So that way they get into the middle of the intersection. Cars aren't thinking they can go. And I think this is really, really cool. But pedestrian safety, they showed a 58% reduction in pedestrian crashes. So this is obviously something we need to have more of. And so leading pedestrian intervals, cities, take note. Okay, over to the super pure silicon chips unlock the next generation of computers. So silicon, when we build chips, actually works out to be 2 different types of silicon. There's silicon, here it goes. I'll just read it here. The problem is, while naturally occurring silicon is mostly the desirable isotope silicon-28, there's also about 4.5% of silicon-29. Silicon-29 has an extra neutron in each of the atom's nucleus that acts as a tiny rogue magnet, destroying quantum coherence and creating computing errors. If you know anything about quantum computing, you know that the problem with it right now is there's errors. So you have to run, thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of experiments to get to an answer. Whereas if you can kind of decrease the amount of errors, then you can really start to get the best out of quantum computing. And this new silicon purification system, they are able to get the silicon-29 content down from 4.5 to 0.0002%, which is obviously great news. And so big advancements in the chip manufacturing, which will be then embedded into quantum computers, and then will give us even more crazy compute power in the future. Okay, speaking of power, we really need to think of clean power in the world. So this is the world's largest vacuum to suck carbon from the atmosphere, and it's just turned on for the first time. And it's interesting because a new carbon capture facility claims to be the biggest of the kind in the world, quite literally began sucking the carbon from the atmosphere this week. And it's in Iceland. It's called Mammoth, and the company's called Climeworks, and they're able to literally suck carbon out of the atmosphere, and then what they do is they bury it into the ground where it can't come out. It's pumping it deep into the ground where it turns into stone. So this is really interesting. It's interesting. At full capacity, the company claims the facility can suck 36,000 tons of carbon from the atmosphere annually. Now, trees do this naturally. We have trees. We should plant more trees. Trees are way less expensive than a carbon-sucking plant. Anyway, I'm just going to leave that there. I'll let you make your own conclusions. But the idea of building carbon-sucking machines when we can just plant trees, I think is probably not the best use of our resources. But I guess we're trying everything to keep the Earth cool by 1 degree. If we can do that, we'll be all right. Okay, this is just super cool. This is the Stratasys J850 TechStyle 3D printer. I love how they put TechStyle because it actually is a textile printer, and it prints 3D rubbery stuff directly onto fabrics. And here, I'll show you an example. So all of this was actually 3D printed directly onto the fabric. And it's just really, really neat stuff. And 3D fashion technology. And yeah, look at this. They have a 3D printer that can print right onto fabric. So we're going to start to see some really cool fashions come out with that are in 3 dimensions, not just 2 dimensions. So I'll leave you with that. I'll put all the links in the comments of the YouTube video. Make sure you subscribe because it really does help. Okay. If you were around yesterday, if you got to see Google's I.O., I'm just going to play this because it's the opening film of Google I.O., and then I'll kind of run through some of the key highlights from Google's developer conference that happened yesterday.
Google's ambitions in artificial intelligence.
Google launches Gemini.
AI is rolling out to work.
And it's completely changing the way we work.
You know, a lot has happened in a year. There have been new beginnings. We found new ways to find new ideas and new solutions to age-old problems. Sorry about your shirt. We dreamt of things, never too old for a treehouse. We trained for things. All right, let's go. And learned about this thing. We found new paths. Took the next step. And made the big leap. Cannonball! We filled days like they were weeks, and more happened in months than has happened in years. Ooh, free eggs. Things got bigger, like way bigger. And it wasn't all just for him or for her. It was for everyone. And you know what? We're just getting started.
All right, I'm going to stop there. That was the beginning sequence of Google I/O, and yeah, here's the kind of overview take. If you don't follow Leo at Alpha Signal, I don't follow him either. Anyway, there we go. Today, Google announced groundbreaking AI technologies. First one, Veo, a powerful AI video generator. I guess this is their answer to Sora. Yeah, it's okay. Text to video writes cinematic shots. That's cool. Okay. Google will integrate AI natively into search. This is pretty cool.
I got that swagger. I got the feel. I got that new thing. I got that extra. Got the real deal. When I just do my thing. Do my thing. I got that.
So Google's building, they're building AI into their search. Very cool. Of course, Perplexity came along and did this a year ago. And so Google's finally catching up to putting AI directly into their search. This was really neat. Okay, so really thought this was cool. This is an example of Astra. They have an AI assistant, and it's looking at the world around it using the camera. Very similar to OpenAI's demo, but check it out.
Me when you see something that makes sound.
I see a speaker, which makes sound.
This is neat.
What is that part of the speaker called?
That is the tweeter. It produces high-frequency sounds.
Give me a creative alliteration about these.
Creative crayons color cheerfully. They certainly craft colorful creations.
Pretty cool.
What does that part of the code do?
This code defines encryption and decryption functions. It seems to use AES-CBC encryption to encode and decode data based on a key and an initialization vector, IV.
That's right. What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
Now, could those be new Google glasses? Let's see. She just switched to the camera. This is neat.
What can I add here to make this system faster?
Adding a cache between the server and database could improve speed.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
All right, give me a band name for this duo.
Golden Stripes.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so that was Astra, the future of AI assistants. Then you have Imagen, the highest quality text-to-image generation model.
Imagine 3 is more photorealistic. You can literally count the whiskers on its snout. With richer details, like this incredible sunlight in the shot, and fewer visual artifacts or distorted images.
So this is Mid-Journey competition or a DALL-E competition. And there you go. So that's kind of the general gist of it. Okay, I showed this one already. Let's go to this one here. 1 second. This is really neat. I'm just going to finish off by showing, here we go. Share this one. Okay, give me 2 seconds. And this is TechCrunch, being tongue-in-cheek here, summarized Google I/O's presentation. I won't play the whole thing, but it is funny. Check it out.
I found the AI really useful.
AI,
generative AI.
All right, we'll stop there. That's just crazy. They say AI a lot in this. Okay, over to robotics. Here's another robot. It's by Unitree Robotics, and it's a very small. It's like a miniature robot, but check out the way it moves. It can lift itself up. This is just incredible stuff. I mean, I can't do that. Whoa. Okay, so it can get up, it can walk, it can do all the things. I love the end of this. Wait till it does this. It jumps into a chair, and it's just like, whoa. So you can see it's not at full size. It's like maybe 4 feet, maybe 3.5 feet, 4 feet, I guess. But look at the balance it's got. I don't know that punching these things is a good idea. I feel like one day they're just going to rebel and punch us back, and it's going to hurt. But check this out. This blew my mind. Watch this. What's happening here? It folds itself up, and you can just take it around with you. I want one of those for sure. I want one of those to follow me around all day, every day. That's cool. All right. Last thing on the list today. I thought this was just really neat. How cool is this for an environment? If you're having a party or something, fully projection all over your room. Amazing. Whoa. What a mind-blowing thing. I want to go in that room, and I don't even know. You don't even need drugs or anything. You just go in that room and I'll leave that. And the last thing I'll share today is from Gartner, when not to use generative AI. Amid the hype over GenAI, it's important to ask if GenAI or another kind of AI is really what you need. Misusing this will sabotage your results. So they have a whole thing here. AI does not revolve around GenAI. So you've got, here, let me shrink that down a bit. You've got the graphs, non-generative machine learning, rules, heuristics, generative models. So you've got this whole idea of determine whether GenAI makes sense for you, whether it's useful, somewhat useful, or hardly useful. And there's a whole article on this. I'll put the link in there. That has been Daily Tech News for today, May 15th. What a lot of cool stuff happening. And if there's anything you see that I should cover or you want me to cover your company, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to do it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace.